The New Jerusalem. The biblical description of the New Jerusalem is what Abraham saw by faith. For he looked for a city which hath foundations, whose builder and maker is God. Hebrews, chapter 11 and verse 10. The New Jerusalem is God's masterpiece, built for those who love Him and keep His commandments. The New Jerusalem will be the home of God's faithful children in heaven, during the millennium and afterward, on the new earth for eternity. There is good news for those of us who don't like packing or moving. God takes care of everything. John says he saw the city. His account of what he saw is recorded in Revelation chapter 21 and verse 2. Then I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. Today, one of the focused scripture reading is taken from Revelation chapter 21. Now I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven, and the first earth had passed away, also there was no more sea. Then I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and He will dwell with them, and they shall be His people. God Himself will be with them, and be their God. And God will wipe away every tear from their eyes. There shall be no more death, nor sorrow, nor crying. There shall be no more pain, for the former things have passed away. Then He who sat on the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. And He said to me, Write, for these words are true and faithful. And He said to me, It is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give of the fountain of the water of life freely to him who thirsts. He who overcomes shall inherit all things. And I will be his God, and he shall be my son. But the cowardly, unbelieving, abominable, murderers, sexually immoral, sorcerers, idolaters, and all liars shall have their part in the lake, which burns with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. Then one of the 7 angels who had the 7 bowls filled with the 7 last plagues, came to me and talked with me, saying, Come, I will show you the bride, the Lamb's wife. And he carried me away in the Spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me the great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from God, having the glory of God. Her light was like a most precious stone, like a jasper stone, clear as crystal. Also she had a great and high wall with 12 gates, and 12 angels at the gates, and names written on them, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. 3 gates on the east, 3 gates on the north, 3 gates on the south, and 3 gates on the west. Now the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and on them were the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. And he who talked with me had a gold reed, to measure the city, its gates, and its wall. The city is laid out as a square, its length is as great as its breadth. And he measured the city with the reed, 12,000 furlongs. Its length, breadth, and height are equal. Then he measured its wall, 144 cubits, according to the measure of a man, that is, of an angel. The construction of its wall was of jasper, and the city was pure gold, like clear glass. The foundations of the wall of the city were adorned with all kinds of precious stones. The first foundation was jasper, the second sapphire, the third chalcedony, the fourth emerald, the fifth sardonyx, the sixth sardius, the seventh chrysolite, the eighth beryl, the ninth topaz, the 10th chrysoprase, the 11th jacinth, and the 12th amethyst. The 12 gates were 12 pearls. Each individual gate was of 1 pearl. And the street of the city was pure gold, like transparent glass. What are some of the things that we are promised? There's so much here that our minds can barely comprehend, damaged as they are by sin, and knowing only a fallen sin-racked world. But what we can understand is so full of hope. First, just as Jesus dwelt with us in this fallen world, when He came in the flesh, He will dwell with us in the new one. What a privilege it must have been for those who saw Jesus up close and personal. We will have that opportunity again, only now without the veil of sin distorting what we see. Then too, how do we, who know only tears, and sorrow, and crying, and pain, understand one of the greatest promises in all the Bible? Revelation chapter 21 verse 4 states, "And God will wipe away every tear from their eyes, there shall be no more death, nor sorrow, nor crying. There shall be no more pain, for the former things have passed away." All those former things will have passed away, things that never should have been here to begin with. Also, flowing from the throne of God is the pure river of life, and on either side of the river is the tree of life. God's throne will be there, and they shall see his face. Revelation chapter 22 and verse 4. Again, the redeemed will live in a closeness to God that for the most part, we don't have now. Revelation chapter 21 verse 8 is about the fate of those who will face the second death. "But the cowardly, unbelieving, abominable, murderers, sexually immoral, sorcerers, idolaters, and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burns with fire and brimstone, which is the second death." Which sin of those depicted there cannot have been forgiven by Jesus? Why then, are these people lost, when some who have done the same things are saved? What is the crucial difference between these two groups? God bless.